So we'll go ahead and I'll just get us started here. We're going to start off nice and slow. We'll get to some straightaways and I'll open it up a little bit for our set speed. So I'm going to hit my activation button. I'm going to go ahead and push the joystick forward and we're off. Now I'm going to hold it until we get to a certain speed. So right now we're sitting at about 6.7 miles an hour. No need to worry about the hand throttle. The engine and the transmission will work together to allow us to get to the proper engine RPM. So there, I just pulled Command Pro backwards until it clicked. Here we are, we're at a stop because we're at an intersection. I'll even put on my turn signal right here and we'll just get going again. One of the nice new features about these cabs for both 7 and 8R is we actually now have self-canceling turn signals in the cab, which is always nice to have.
Yeah.
So right now we're doing about 7.9 miles an hour. I've got set speed 2 selected, which is about 12 miles an hour. Once we get around this curve, I'll go ahead and engage set speed 2 so we can kind of show you the functionality of jumping into those set speeds. I'm actually also going to increase set speed 1 just a little bit here so we can kind of show you how we bounce back and forth between set speeds. Once again, set speed 2 is currently selected based on this little red LED light on the joystick. I'm just going to go ahead and push it to the right and it's going to speed us up to 12 miles an hour. So now think of this as having our set speed mode engaged. I'm going to bounce back and forth between these. So now I just selected set speed 1 and we dropped back down to 8 miles an hour. Jump back up to 12 miles an hour and back and forth as needed for whatever operation we happen to be running. On this particular tractor too, we've got triple link front suspension in combination with a mechanical cab suspension too for that enhanced operator comfort, and just a simple air seat on this particular tractor.
So it's a lot smoother ride than a rigid frame or a rigid front axle would offer.
That's correct, absolutely. And you know, I'll pull us to a stop here as well. Kind of go into some of the detail too. So if we actually get into our menu, we also have the ability to either let the front axle suspension run itself from an auto standpoint. We can max it out, meaning we push it all the way to its full extension, or we can actually physically run it in a manual setting. It's obviously speed dependent right there, but yeah, we do have the ability to go in there and kind of adjust that suspension as needed for our operation.
So if we had a loader on this tractor, could you lock that so that...
Yep, absolutely. The best way to do it is, and I would say if you're going to put a loader on it, you go into our suspension there, and we'll select that max, and all that's going to try to do is it's going to try to hold it at that max suspension for whenever we're rolling into a pile or something along those lines, where you don't really want that give on the front end.
Right.
For our application for transport and most field applications, we just want to let the software do its job and run that suspension in auto. And then the cab is going to be a mechanical suspension, so it'll essentially be on all the time.
Right.
So we'll just keep going around here. We'll get you over to the kind of the transport setting where we can show off that top set speed and how to adjust that as well.
So how many models on the 7R now?
Yep, so 7R is now going to be running from 210 horsepower up to 330. So it'll be 210, 230, 250, 270, 290, 310, and 330. So we're looking at 7 different 7R models at this point.
So that's grown up a little bit from what was offered before.
Yep, that's correct. So with this new release for the 7R update, we brought in our new top horsepower model, and so now we're all the way up at 330 engine horsepower for the 7R that we're in currently, actually. I'll engage set speed 2 one more time and get us to 12 miles an hour. Stop while this truck comes past us. Let these guys get in front of us just a little bit. And so now I'm going to go ahead and engage our top set speed, which, since we're traveling in the forward direction already, all I've got to do is push my Command Pro forward until it clicks into that forward detent. We will accelerate up to that. Currently set at 15 miles an hour, but once we're in this top set speed, I've actually got the ability to speed us up or slow us down with the thumb wheel right here on the side of Command Pro. Very similar to the traditional IVT control today, and also the thumb wheel you see in E23 transmissions.
How much can you change speed with that thumb wheel?
Yep, so you can go all the way up and all the way down, but it's 0.2 mile an hour per click.
Okay.
Yeah, so if I wanted to roll this all the way up to the 26 miles an hour I'm maxed out at, I could, or all the way down into the creeper mode at 0.05 mile an hour, I believe, for IDT.
And you can prioritize engine speed or...
Yep, absolutely. And so there's a couple of different ways to operate it. Right now, since we're unloaded, we're prioritizing keeping the engine RPM as low as possible. But if we had a PTO on the back, the software would actually allow us to run that PTO at the proper engine RPM.